Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, I want to talk to you just a little bit today about how I named my channel, Over 50 with Fonda. Well, I just turned 60. So people say, well, why did she call it Over 50 with Fonda if she was getting ready to turn 60? Well, that's because I wanted to kind of give you some input on the journey I've had since I turned 50. I'm going to go into that a little bit deeper today. So we're going to talk about several health things that have went on with me since I turned 50, and maybe it's something that you might be able to relate to in your own life. So first, let's start off with I turned 50. Didn't feel any different than I did when I was 49. Really didn't feel a whole lot different than I did when I turned 40. And a couple years later, I believe that's when I first started going through menopause. And I really didn't know what to expect because all the women in my family had hysterectomies. So they didn't really go through the regular menopause as, you know, you would naturally. And so I had no one in my age group that I really knew that had been through menopause. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't have a lot of horror stories that I've heard other women of what they went through and what they've been told they were going to go through. So for me, menopause was pretty non-existent. I mean, I stopped having my menstrual cycle, and it didn't just stop. I mean, it slowed down, and then it got to where I would have it maybe once every 6 months. And by the time I think I was around 53, it was gone. No more menstrual cycle. Now you say, woohoo, yay! That's the only thing that bothered me. Because then I knew for sure that I was over the hill. I was no longer a baby-producing female. So, which I hadn't been anyway, because I'd had my tubes tied back when I was 23 years old at the birth of my second child, because we had decided we wanted a boy and a girl. So I hadn't been able to be a baby making machine for a long time. But for some reason, that's the only thing that really bothered me. As far as menopause, I had night sweats a few times, but a lot of that was a condition that I was developing, and we'll go into that in a few minutes. But I can't say that was menopause. Mood swings, I've had them all my life. So if they got any worse or better, I don't know. Nobody really told me. So menopause to me was kind of anticlimactic, nothing to write home about. Now, the next thing that happened to me in my 50s was I found out I had a condition called Sjogrens. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but it's an autoimmune disease. And what it does is your bad cells in your body start destroying the good cells that are in your body because they can't tell a difference. So your body's like fighting itself. But what the first couple things that you notice with Sjogrens is dry eyes and dry mouth. And I can say probably the first thing that I noticed with mine was the dry mouth. I was at a Bible study with my daughter, and they were offering cookies. I mean, I can remember the night that I really started noticing it. As you walked in, they were offering cookies. And on the other side, there was things to drink, but I was like, oh no, I just want a cookie. So I sat down, and we were having the Bible study, and you know, it's quiet. It's not like there was a lot going on. And I'm eating my cookie, and I'm having so much trouble swallowing it. It's like I have sawdust in my mouth, and it just would not go down. Had to end up getting up in the middle of the Bible study and getting something to drink. Well, that was my first, I didn't know I had Sjogrens, but that was my first insight into it, I guess you would say. Okay, well, the next thing that started happening with my body was my eyes. They started being super sensitive. I mean, it was, if I went outside without sunglasses, I was walking around like this because could not stand. I mean, even if it was a cloudy day, just the brightness would just affect my eyes so bad. And I guess I rubbed them and scratched at them, and I ended up, I went to the eye doctor, and I went to several doctors telling them different things, and my eye doctor did help me. I mean, he gave me drops that cleared up the infection in my eyes and got me to where I was less sensitive. I wore sunglasses a lot. Still didn't know what was causing all this, and really didn't correlate the two things together. So, I don't know. I had it for a long time, I would say, before I ever got any relief from it. Because I would ask doctors, and they just, oh, well, you know, you're getting older and you need to make sure you see your eye doctor. And they would say, make sure you're seeing your dentist. You know, if your mouth's dry, a lot of medications cause dry mouth. Nobody ever offered to do any testing or anything like that. Then one day I was in the gynecologist office, and I loved she was actually the nurse practitioner, but she's the one that would always do my exams. Her name was Rachel. And I was telling her all about it, and she says, oh, you have Sjogrens. She said, I'm sure you have Sjogrens. And she said, and the reason I know that is because I have lupus. And so I have secondary Sjogrens, because Sjogrens, you can have primary or you can have secondary. If you have secondary, it usually follows lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, something like that, and then you will have a secondary case of Sjogrens. That's a milder case. But if you don't have lupus or rheumatoid arthritis and you have Sjogrens, normally it's the full blown out Sjogrens, which, yay, that's what I got. Not that I wanted the lupus or the rheumatoid arthritis, because I didn't. My son has those, and that's no picnic, believe me. So anyway, she said, you need to go to your doctor and tell him you want to be tested for Sjogrens. And I said, okay. Well, I did. And the test came back, and they say, yay, you won, you got it. So I had Sjogrens. So the next thing they did was sent me to a rheumatologist. My rheumatologist did a lot of testing on me, and we tried several medications, and finally found one that was working for me that didn't give me horrible side effects, and that was Plaquenil. So that's what I take now. So I'm telling you all this to go into the next phase of my Sjogrens. In rare cases, the Sjogrens can go into lymphoma, which is a cancer. So I won again. So mine went into lymphoma in 2016. And so I went through a round of chemo, and after that, it was gone, and I was in remission. And so then I had been in remission for 3 years, and then in 2019, it came back. So I had another round of chemo, knocked it out again. So today, 2020, February the 2nd, Groundhog Day, I'm in remission, so yay! But I wanted to go into all of that to let you know that if you have something like that wrong with you, you can always, you have to find out. You know, doctors don't know every little thing that's wrong with us. And I tell you what, we complain so much that they probably get to the point that they're like, yeah. You know, because they have so many of us that they're looking at. And I get aggravated at my doctors, and they get aggravated at me. That's what makes the world go around. But I really do have a good group of doctors that take care of me, and I'm really thankful for that. But I just want you to be aware, and if you do have a condition like Sjogrens, make sure you ask your doctor if you're having symptoms. And another symptom is your skin. Your skin can, like, I'm so sensitive to the sun. I was a sun baby. I mean, from the time I was born, I think. I would go out in the sun and stay out in the sun for ages, loved it. As a matter of fact, I stayed so dark that people used to all the time tell me they thought that I had some Indian in me. And I could have, I don't know. But now, oh my goodness, I can go out and be in the sun for 30 minutes and I'm just red as a beet and I burn so easily now. And some of that is the medication that I'm on, but a lot of that is my Sjogrens. You know, it really damages, you know, everything in me is drying up. And what is in me is fighting the bad's fighting the good, and the good's fighting to stay good. And that's just part of it. You know, that's what I'm dealing with right now. And that's okay, because it could always, 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 remember, it could always be worse. Another thing that Sjogrens does is that it will make you extremely tired. Like, I will have so much energy and I'll be like this burst of energy and I'll go and go and go and go and go. And then all of a sudden I'll wake up one morning and I haven't done anything, you know, majorly, but I'll just wake up and I'm having a flare up and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm dragging through the house because I'm just so utterly tired. And that's just part of the Sjogrens. So you deal with a lot of different things, but the main thing is to keep yourself as hydrated as possible. And another thing is your teeth. You know, you have no saliva, so take care of your teeth. I'm a big teeth girl. Love teeth. I just don't think that man can make anything as good as God did to begin with. So nothing's going to fit in your mouth like your own teeth do. Nothing's going to work as well as the ones God gave you. So keep them as long as you possibly can. And in order to do that, you're going to have to take care of them. And if you have Sjogrens, you need to be going about every 3 months, having your teeth checked, drinking lots of water, and you need fluoride. I mean, I have a prescription fluoride toothpaste that I use throughout the day. I brush my teeth every time I eat something. I go brush my teeth, floss my teeth. I have a water pick. I mean, my husband laughs at me sometimes because he says I have the cleanest mouth in town. But I'm fighting to keep those teeth because I know a lot of people with Sjogrens lose their teeth. And I've had plenty of my own dental problems, so I'm trying to keep what I can. Let's see, is there anything else that I really wanted to tell you about? My eyes, I wear contacts. I wear a glass permeated contact, and it's very concave. So it kind of looks, if you look at it from the side, like this. And what I do is I have a liquid that I put in there every morning. I have a whole ritual that I do with my contacts. Before I even get out of the bed, I lay my towel down, a white towel, so I can see really, really well what I'm doing. And my contacts have been soaking in a solution all night. So I clean that solution off really well with a certain cleaner. Then when I get that done, I fill my contact up with the solution that I wear in my eyes all day long. And I have a little suction cup, I bend my head, and I put the contact in my eye. And that keeps moisture against my eye all day long. Now, I've had several different contacts, and these are what I would call expensive. It cost me, I believe it's $1,400 for these contacts. And I wear them as long as I possibly can. The ones that I have right now are probably, I would say, 2 months old. I will try to get a couple years use out of my contacts because they are so expensive. But I have to have them. You know, if I get up in the mornings, I'm barely opening my eyes, because imagine the feeling when you're in the shower and you get shampoo in your eyes and it's burning and you don't want to open your eyes and you're trying to get it out. That's what my eyes feel like when I get up in the morning, because it's like raw. I guess I've been blinking off and on, and I use my ceiling fan because I get hot really quick. But so my eyes are just really, really dry. So anyway, that's why I wear the contacts, and I wear them all day long. I get in the bed, I take them out when I'm ready to close my eyes and go to sleep. And I also have a sleep mask, and so that's working great for me. I'm very thankful. And as far as my mouth goes, I drink a lot of water. You will see me rudely chewing gum when I film these videos. Right now I have a mint in my mouth, but I have to have something in my mouth all the time. If not, when I'm talking to you, my tongue will start to stick to the top of my mouth and I sound like I have a mouthful of mush. But anyway, that's telling you about my Sjogrens. And if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to ask me, please feel free. I mean, if there's anything that I can do for somebody else to help them along their journey, then that's my whole purpose of doing this. But that lets you know of some of the journey that I've had throughout my 50s that I've been through, that just, like I said, if I can help you along your walk through your 50s, I'm more than happy to. Now, as I told you, I turned 60 last week, so I'm going to be going from my 50s into my 60s and just sharing my journey with you along the way. So come back and we'll see. I'm not sure what I'll talk about on my next video, but just today's video, I just wanted to share that much with you and let you know about that. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me and I'd be happy to answer you. Subscribe to my channel and like this video if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.